Well, vaping is bad, and it is a growing epidemic. Middle Georgia doctors say they're seeing more cases of teenagers using vapes and e-cigarettes, and that they're making kids sick. 41 NBC's Amber Lake joins us now with more. Amber.
Well, it's hard to believe that this little container of liquid can cause such a big issue and be so addictive to young people. But if you're using these e-cigarettes and vapes, do you know exactly what you're putting in your body?
Putting poison into your body, and it's not good for anyone to do, but especially a young child.
A close call for a teen in Texas after vaping almost took his life. 17-year-old Tristan Zofeld spent 18 days at the hospital after he woke up and couldn't breathe.
You know, I woke up about 6:30 the next morning, just throwing up everywhere. My heart, I could just feel my heart just pounding out of my chest, you know, going 100 miles an hour. Machines
kept Tristan alive until he was strong enough to breathe on his own. When he recovered, he knew he had to warn people of the dangers of vaping.
Obviously, I was embarrassed at first, but really once I realized that, I was going to make it through and I was given that second chance, I just kind of wanted to, like I said, I just kind of wanted to give that warning out to people.
There seems to be a misunderstanding among teens that vaping or e-cigarettes are safe, and that is just not true.
According to Christy Peterson, a pediatrician with Navicent Health, there is a significant increase in the amount of teens who are vaping and using e-cigarettes.
They are not safe because there are still risks involved with the chemicals that are being inhaled into the lungs. There can be respiratory symptoms as well as cardiac and neurological symptoms.
The FDA has the ability to regulate the import, advertising, sale, and distribution of e-cigarettes. But the FDA doesn't have the authority to regulate vaping accessories. That includes carrying cases, e-juice bottles, and chargers. That's our job as a community.
While vaping might seem like a healthy alternative to cigarette use, it does still contain nicotine, a highly addictive chemical. And of course, with nicotine, it can affect brain development. And when it comes to teenagers, their brains are still developing. The brain continues to develop until age 25.
The Public Information Officer for North Central Health District, Michael Hawkinson, says one of the biggest steps that parents can take is setting a good example.
If you're a smoker and you have kids, either try and cut back, try and quit. There are resources out there available to you.
I think every school's had issues. It's really become an epidemic.
The headmaster at Windsor Academy, Jimmy Watts, says the academy has no tolerance for e-cigarettes and vapes.
Usually first day is 3 days suspension. It's a pretty strict policy, and then goes from there. Of course, we always get in contact with the parents and want to have a parent conference and make sure that they're aware of what their students doing.
But it's getting harder to tell what an e-cig device looks like.
You know, they look like zip drives, and they come in all different shapes and sizes, and so it's been a little bit of a challenge keeping up with the products that are out there, so we'll know what to look for on the school level.
Watts says whether you're smoking cigarettes or using a vape, it's bad for you.
They compare it to inhaling the stuff that comes out of your muffler on your car.
Catherine Duncan is a general pediatrician at the Beverly Knight Olson Children's Hospital. She says the chemicals in vapes and e-cigs can be harmful for brain development, among other issues.
Toddlers ingesting these chemicals and getting sent to the hospital for basically for toxic ingestions, and for kids being admitted to the hospital for lung problems.
Dr. Duncan says she has seen many cases involving exploding devices.
We've seen some sad accidents related to equipment blowing up and causing mechanical damage to jaws and throats.
Mary Townsend is a senior at Mercer University and has been vaping for 3 years. She agrees that vaping has become an epidemic in schools.
I have a younger sister who's in high school, and all of her friends have started buying Juuls and Sorens and stuff like that. I think it's because it went from being like tasting icky to like fruit, and you can do it inside and it's not as detectable from parents especially.
She says the FDA can try to enforce stricter sales on vapes, but they're really not that hard to get.
You can get it online, but I feel like everybody's already hooked. So even if they do change it, I don't know what good it would do. Like, the damage is done.
According to the Georgia Department of Public Health, e-cigarettes and vapes are highly addictive. The DPH says the devices have harmful chemicals that cause lung problems and affect brain development. I reached out to vape shops in the area, but none of them wanted to make a statement.
Thank you, Amber. The Department of Public Health says more than 3.5 million middle and high school students reported using e-cigarettes and vapes in the last 30 days in 2018. Head to our website, 41NBC.com, for more information about how to identify e-cigarettes and vapes.